Good afternoon, everyone. Grey Bruce continued to see a high rate of COVID cases this week, with 127 cases reported. Currently, there are 182 active cases within the Grey Bruce Health Unit. New and active cases in Grey Bruce are now 10 times higher than the average for the province on a population basis. 3 people from Grey Bruce died of COVID during the week, and there are 3 suspected deaths that are pending confirmation. Most of the cases are in the western and central parts of the Grey Bruce Health Unit. There was 1 new case in the town of the Blue Mountains this week. Yesterday, the Ontario government moved the province into step 3 of the COVID-19 reopening plan, nearly a week earlier than previously expected. Step 3 of the reopening plan focuses on expanding the indoor settings and further bolsters outdoor settings. Here are the major changes that will come into effect when the province enters step 3. Up to 25 people can attend indoor gatherings and public events. Indoor dining is now allowed with no capacity limits, except for keeping 2 meters apart from other tables. Indoor capacity for sports and recreational fitness facilities, meeting and event spaces, casinos, museums, aquariums, landmarks, galleries, fairs, amusement parks, concert venues, cinemas, and theaters is increased to 50%, and there is expanded capacity for religious services, rites, and ceremonies. Outdoor gatherings and organized public events for up to 100 people are now allowed with limited exceptions. Spectators for outdoor sports and recreational activities and other outdoor events are capped at 75% of approved capacity. Provincial mask and face covering rules will remain in place in indoor public settings throughout step 3, as will physical distancing requirements. Masks will be required at some outdoor settings along with other public health measures. Even though Grey Bruce has 10 times the case rate of the rest of Ontario, and the Delta variant is responsible for 99% of the cases, the Grey Bruce Health Unit is joining the rest of Ontario and moving to phase 3. In response, the Grey Bruce Public Health Unit has provided the following strong recommendations as a roadmap for a modified phase 3 in Grey Bruce. The Grey Bruce Health Unit strongly recommends that the current limits on private gatherings remain, with outdoor gatherings having a maximum of 25 people and indoor gatherings limited to 5. Additional recommendations from the Grey Bruce Health Unit for modified step 3 in Grey Bruce include: the public is strongly encouraged to only dine outdoors. Workplaces and patrons follow public health measures, especially gyms, cinemas, and fast food locations. Church services and attendees, specifically wedding receptions, follow all public health measures. And personal service settings and salons continue to require masks to be worn, as in step 2. The health unit also advises it is important we all continue to follow the COVID-19 prevention measures. That is, physical distancing, wearing a face covering in indoor public spaces and where physical distancing may be difficult, washing our hands with soap and water or alcohol-based hand sanitizer, sneezing and coughing into your sleeve, avoiding touching your eyes, nose, and mouth, and avoiding contact with people who are sick. The Grey Bruce Health Unit also urges you to stay home if you're sick or unwell, and to clean and disinfect high-touch objects and surfaces frequently. The health unit warns it may be necessary to change these strong recommendations to regulatory orders if control over the current surge of cases in Grey Bruce is lost. The Grey Bruce Health Unit has the authority to apply local restrictions and charge offenders. Isolation requirements for COVID-19 cases and high-risk contacts remain enforceable under the class order signed by the Medical Officer of Health on April 16, 2021. The Grey Bruce Health Unit reports that a large number of the current cases are in individuals who were not vaccinated or became infected as a result of gatherings where COVID-19 precautions were not followed. The public health has the authority and will bring charges against individuals hosting private events that are not in compliance with provincial regulations. The health unit also advises that due to the nature of the Delta variant, a high percentage of high-risk contacts will become cases. Those, as well as any further spread of the highly contagious COVID-19 variant, will result in additional hospitalizations, especially in vulnerable populations. A high number of hospitalizations may present a challenge to our hospital capacity, resulting in the potential of a loved one being relocated to a hospital outside our local area, as well as long waiting times for beds. Vaccine is the best way to control the spread of the COVID-19 virus. While a significant number of residents in Grey Bruce have had their vaccine, the modified Step 3 recommendations will only be revoked when the majority of 12 to 35-year-olds have had 2 vaccines and/or the current surge is diminished. We need everyone to get fully vaccinated as soon as possible. The sooner everyone, especially youth and young adults, become vaccinated, the sooner we can return to normal. Until we reach a level of vaccination that protects the entire population, everyone must continue to be prudent in following the COVID-19 precautions. Locally, there are a number of vaccination clinics planned for the next week in the town of the Blue Mountains in Meaford. Monday to Thursday nights, 5 to 8 p.m., there are clinics at the Blue Mountains Community Health Center in Thornbury. Appointments can be booked at tvmvaccines.ca. There are also drop-in clinics on Tuesday in Meaford from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Meaford and St. Vincent Community Center, and on Thursday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Beaver Valley Community Center in Thornbury. If you have not yet been vaccinated, please go out and get vaccinated as soon as possible. Vaccines are the best way to fight COVID. You don't need to be the next person in Grey Bruce to get sick and die of COVID. Have a great weekend. Please get vaccinated if you haven't already done so, and stay safe.